What's up, guys? It's Black and with some more RA content. I know, I just posted a video the other day, but that's alright. We are back here again, day 2, because we got something special going on. There is quite a few of games with storylines going on this season. Right now, top 4 is locked in. It is Kav, Fazar, Happy, and myself in some sort of order. But the thing is that Fazar has a broken PC, and we're not sure if he's going to make it, which means every game by everybody else in Master is pretty much still open. I think only Milkman and Mo are actually disqualified, or not disqualified. They are unable to clinch. So it's going to be very interesting to see who can get into that 4th spot if they can. And so, of course, one of those players playing is, of course, Anjew. In his Germany now, he's switched up instead of just Ukraine. And then, of course, against him in this particular game, it is Kav once again, trying to reclaim his rightful place as first of Raggle and Masters. So we are on Pleasant Plains once again. Always a very popular map. Really like this map. Looks like Anjew is going to go for double ref just by the number of infantry. Same thing with Kav. Nothing too crazy going on right now. Lots of scouts going on. Actually, I think that engineer is barely going to get away from Kav. Might run into a rifle later for Anjew, but yeah, there's a lot going on so far. If Anjew can win out the rest of his games, he's got like an outside chance. Unano is still fighting. I think Unano can't drop a single game, and then I think he has to play Anjew at some point. Tux is still in the fight too. Tux can drop like 1 or 2 games to Unano, I think, but we're not sure. And then I think Ups has like the closest. There goes that engineer. Ups has like the best odds of getting in. The Vegas odds would give you the least favorable return there if you were to bet on him. All he has to do is win at least 1 game against Tux, and I think he's like nearly qualified. He might have the tiebreaker with Andrew or something like that. So 2 wins for him is pretty solidly in. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting show to see who gets that 4th spot if Fazar does forfeit. We're not sure when he gets that PC or if he will get it, but hopefully he does. It's always good to see him in the top 4, especially after his performance last season. It'll be really interesting to see if he can try to get Kav in the finals again. And then, of course, there's Happy too, which Happy and Kav have to play sometime. That will probably determine 1 or 2, or if Fazar drops or doesn't drop, then it'll determine 1, 2, and 3. I will be 4th, so I will play probably Kav in game 1, unless Happy like 2-0s him or something like that. So it's going to be a tough playoff series for me, for sure, but I think I'd rather play Kav in the semifinals than I would in the finals, just after the last year, how he kind of trounced me as he did. So very interesting. Nice last little push for this week, so there's going to be lots of casts for me coming out just to kind of highlight these games, especially since there was no really weekly highlights of stream this time. The Trip T still posted like them on the forum, but I don't think anybody like really got to see those games except for if they watched them themselves. So a little unfortunate there that Kav, or not Kav, a little unfortunate that Caution, he wanted to say Kav and Happy. Caution was too busy doing his Street Fighter 6 thing. That's alright, because he got some actual like commentary gigs covering that game, which is really cool to see. So hopefully we can get him back for maybe the playoffs or something like that, but until then, you're gonna have to suffer me and my flubbing of words and mistaking of names and whatnot. Kav's Flak Ranger. Flak is gonna die to a Ranger in just a second here. See, I'm already flubbing the words again. Ranger gets it, goes back. No SD for Andrew. In fact, Andrew is kind of known for his super cheesy play where he goes mass racks, 1 MCV, no SD. He switched to light tanks because I think they're just a little bit better than APCs. The wood damage is probably the difference maker there, and I guess a little bit of the heavy damage, since APCs are really can only kill infantry. So this type of push is pretty deadly with allies. We'll have to see how Kav wants to prepare for it. I'm not sure if Kav is necessarily the person who will adjust to Andrew's build like this, or if he's even like paying attention to Andrew's type of build like this. I mean, Kav's generally the type of person you can just throw whatever you want at him and he'll be like, hello, okay, and just beat you anyways. So if there's somebody who's going to beat Kav with some cheese, it's definitely going to be Anjew, and Anjew's looking alright now. He's got a big army lead. He's about to kill the oil derrick, and this MSV is actually very dangerous. Kav does not have a whole lot of army. 3 light tanks, 4 light tanks coming in, and a ranger is probably enough to go and crush that if Anjew goes in right now. But it looks like he's a little hesitant. He's going to go down here to the ore mine. Nope, changes his mind and goes back. So this little delay in hesitancy could have some problem with him, but defense is ready for Kav. So he's going to have that flame tower, which could make all the difference here too. He is nicely scouting with the ranger. Now he's going to go in right now. just as the harvest and a heavy tank comes out, Ranger instantly goes down. That's not great. Light tanks are coming in from the back, and let's see if they can get some crushes. So far, okay. They got a lot of crushes, but there is a heavy tank in the mix now, and a harvester pull from Kav. He's actually going to be able to deflect this push. Doesn't even lose the harvester for that, so that was pretty nicely defended there. Kav still a little bit behind on the army values, but you know, the destroyed loss is pretty much the difference there. And just going to rotate down to the bottom now, but there is another flame tower here. It's probably going to get shut off. These light tanks are going to have some armor problems. Looks like his first MCV is moving out, and he is indeed doing that 7 racks kind of push. These light tanks are good, but I mean, heavy tanks really rip into light tanks really quickly, and you know, even with the extra heavy armor damage that light tanks do, like heavy tanks just withstand it pretty well. So I don't see this attack going well for Anjew. Plus, he's only got the 1 rocket anyway, so it'd take forever to kill the heavy tanks and the harvester right there. He's going to try to rotate to the top, which is decently undefended. There's 1 flame tower here, but he can kind of just stay out of that if he really wants to. And yeah, Kav's, he's definitely in a defensive position right now. Got his armies kind of split between 2 spots. There's only really 2 spots you can attack on this map. That's right here and right here. But it looks like Andrew's going to try to rotate all the way to the back. But again, Kav's going to totally be able to see that with his army right there, be able to move. But at the same time, Anjew is just pumping out all this infantry. So he's going to have like 3 different multi-prongs going on right now, which could be really effective if he wants to pull Kav apart. We'll have to see if Kav responds to the bait or not. It's kind of similar to something to what I did against Happy on this map, where it was less of like a light tank push and more just a really aggressive early push that I've been doing this season. It seems to work really well. I tried it against Kav. It did not work very well against him, but I'm going to claim that I was a little rusty and Kav was not. But, you know, Kav probably just out-defended me like he will probably do with Anjew here, because that Kav's good. He's going to move this main out at a really bad time, because actually Anjew's going to go in on the left side. It's going to go on the right side too. This right side force is going to go down, but this left side force is going to be completely undetected. You're going to get a harvester. At least, yep, 1 more rocket. There he goes. He should kill the refinery, maybe even the war factor if he really wants to, but now he's going on the top, which is going to be good. Going to get at least a harvester there. There's more juicy harvest coming in, and he's got a 4th wing attacking him right there. Oh, and that MCV is actually getting poked away by light tank there, but the 2 heavy tanks should be able to clear it up. Nice and neat. Going into the top right now, gets what the 1 harvester before. Oh, great crushes there by the light tanks, and this MCV is actually in a lot of trouble right now. Just needs to deal with this flame tower, and it'll probably be okay. He's got enough rockets to do it, I think. See how the micro is not there right now. Let's see if the harvester can get some crushes. Nope, he's backing out. He needs to save the harvester. The harvester goes down. Now the MCV's in trouble. And did he sell? He sold off his worst MCV. Oh my god. If this war factory SD goes down, that's no MCV wars for Kav. He's going to clean up this army just because he has the numbers. But Kav has no MCV right now. He's got the army value. He's got almost a 2k or a double thing. He's probably going to have it after he cleans up this army, but yeah, he has no MCV, and he's on 3 harvesters right now. That is actually not great for him at all. His eco is going to suffer in just a second here. I mean, he's got this nice free big ore patch, which is going to be great, but 2 harvesters on a dead patch right here, and that's not enough to sustain an army. And just going in with a lot of light tanks, missing all the crushes so far. That's unfortunate. Really needs every crush you can get with light tanks. That kind of makes all the difference there. Heavy tank. Oh, and 3 heavy tanks over here split off. Yeah, once these heavy tanks get in your line, they're absolutely brutal, but if you can like detect them before they get there, then they're pretty much useless. You know, 2 rockets isn't going to be enough for 3 heavy tanks, but if you can get a bunch of rockets just to kind of sit in your line, you can totally get 1 harvester goes down, so it's going to force Anjew off, which is unfortunate too, because this is his only source of eco right now. And these 3 heavy tanks are going to meet up with this 4th one over here, maybe get another harvester. Anjew's totally aware of it, and he's actually going to collapse everything except for this little detachment right here. That's probably going to get cleaned up by just a single heavy tank, and Kav is deathballing with what else he can. There goes the heavy tanks again, trying to poke out the harvesters, but getting pushed away by some light tanks. But yeah, you can see these light tanks can't really follow. 1 light tank instantly getting popped. But a little baby health heavy tank going down, and this little detachment from Anjew getting cleaned up. Army values are looking a little bit more even. The longer this game goes on, the more that Anjew's going to catch up on army value. Another heavy tank going down here, and then 2 more light tanks probably going to pop. There you go, good control on those heavy tanks, trying to get him out of dodge, but he's going to run into a secondary thing unless they all get crushed. Oh, the heavy tanks just pull out of the way. Going does the same thing too. That's unfortunate. This heavy tank probably going to die to this rocket down here, but here comes the push by Kav, and I don't think Anjew can hold this. He's got a turret, which is not what he needs. He needs some pillboxes. They're coming, but he is stalled on cash. Oh, it's a bad time to be low eco. The turret's not firing on the thing. He gets it on the heavy tank, and the pillbox is probably going to kill that one, but he loses a harvester. And now the pillbox is just slowly whittling away at the wrong thing again. Anjew's deeply in the back, and he's going to lose his MSV. This is not looking good for him, unless these crushes can be absolutely good, but no light tank gets in there. And now Kav is going to have free reign to kill all this as soon as this heavy tank gets into range. He's taking a really good engagement here, but yep, once the heavy tank's in range, all of Anjew's army is gone, and Kav's just going to be able to overwhelm with numbers, and Anjew goes in and gives the GG. So very quick game, 10 minutes, 30 seconds. Very cheesy by Anjew. Was pulling apart for a second there, and then I guess Anjew just could not hold. Kav said, you know what, I'm just going to throw everything I got in the kitchen sink at you, and it happened to work. Maybe with some more defenses if Anjew could afford it, but unfortunately the ecograph was probably not in his favor. Yeah, you can see he was just slowly dried. That was really just the 3 heavy tanks here pushed these harvesters off for so long that killed all of his eco. And of course he lost the 1, and these ones got pulled off for a little bit too. So that's kind of the disadvantage of Anjew's type of play here, is if you get pushed off that expansion with that 1 MCV, then you just don't have a secondary to fall back on. I can't believe that Kav sold his MCV down here and then immediately lost an MCV and still won this game. That was actually kind of crazy. So well played by Kav there. Good effort by Anjew. Unfortunately, every loss for Anjew is going to add up, and he needs every win he can just to try to claw into that 4th place, try to disrupt it for everybody else ahead of him. So we'll jump into game 2 and hope for better odds. Alright, we are back here in game 2. Looks like once again Anjew is Germany and Kav is going to be Soviets again. I think he was Russia last time. We of course are on Tank Trap. Not a huge fan of this map. I just feel like your main base is too easily protected because you can just move forward, cut it off, but that's okay. I've seen a few games on this and they've been alright. I think I played Kav on this one and it didn't work out for me. Kav expands here, and I don't know why anybody would expand to this one over this one, but that threw me off because my army was totally ready to collapse on this one, and he just came from my left side and killed me. So stop underestimating Kav, because he'll take it to you if you do that. That's my experience. And you go and engineer first, and looks like Kav's gonna run out 5 rifles first to the center oil derrick. Not a bad idea. There's 2 oil derricks here. It's gonna be a toss-up on which one you decide to go for. I think this one's a little bit farther away, and so this one's probably a little bit closer, but that also means it's closer for your opponent too. So Kav going rifles first is going to get them there first, but looks like Anjew's going to go to the center anyways, so it's not going to matter too much. In fact, Anjew's going to have a little bit of extra income since he did go engineer first. Kav supporting his engineer with a rifle, which is always important. Same thing with Anjew over here. No dogs out for Kav. I don't think I've seen Kav use rifles or dogs, but again, don't underestimate him. You never know. He probably has before, and that's something that you would say and do, and then suddenly get surprised by a dog eating your engineer in the back because you didn't expect Kav to do that. Anjew gonna send 2 rifles in here to the death. Might even cause a barrel explosion. Nope, just instant death. Looks like 1 rifle did get a little burst down, but barely any health off of any of those rifles. Anjew gonna come here and get the second order, rather uncontested. Same thing with Kav on the top. Kind of interesting that these rifles can actually stand behind this order there. It doesn't really look like they should be, especially this one in particular, but it is what it is. Looks like Kav's about 35 seconds. 5 seconds ahead of Anjew on the War Factory. So Anjew was just a little bit slower, placing something down, and actually it probably was just Kav did the ref cell right there. Thought it will explain a 5-second difference, but ref cell kind of okay. Kav's refinery is actually in a pretty decent spot between those 2. But I mean, at the same time, Anjew is just going to be a little bit more efficient in the long term. It's just most of these games aren't going to go to long term, especially on a map like this where it's kind of a do or die situation. There's a hospital in this corner, and it looks like Anjew really wants that hospital. If I was Kav, the hospital would be a little bit more of my priority, just because Soviets don't have that heal for medics. So if you can heal infantry up after a fight, that makes all the difference. Allies can just build some medics and it'll be fine. But Kav's gonna forfeit it out to Anjew for now. Anjew's got 5 rifles right here, so that little thing's not gonna be scary for an engineer. The only thing he'd have to worry about if there was already rifles there, but that's very far away, not super important for this part of the game. Looks like Anjew is gonna lose this oil derrick in the middle. Kav's setting up only 1 rocket right now, and I expect light tanks to be coming out for Anjew pretty shortly as soon as this 4th ref comes down. 3rd ref rather. 4th harvester. There he goes, nice to the place, and he is building light tanks, so this cap might not be long for this world, but Kav's got a pretty good position, and that flak's actually gonna deny any of these snipes on the engineer. So 3-1 all day, cool. Allow Kav to just start pumping out infantry pretty reliably right now. He is up to 3 and 4 harvests, so he can start pumping out infantry anyways, but it's just going to help him that much, a little more in the economic long run. Same time, Anjew does have that hospital, so his infantry are going to have that free heal. Looks like his engineer is, yeah, it's bad down here by the hospital. No engineer in that ranger yet. If I'm Anjew, I'm not really trying to keep these center row there, because I just kill them. It'd be nice if you could hold them, but once they're decapped like that, you know, your opponent has light vehicles or an APC out on the field, it's very hard to actually recap these. I've got like the burps or something. That's alright. Kav, not gonna see these 2 light tanks, I don't think. Nope, that's Anjew. There we go. Yeah, no, Kav has no idea about the light tanks. I mean, he should know there's at least 1 light vehicle. I'm pretty sure he saw the ranger drive by. But rockets just now coming out for Anjew, which is a little late. That ranger gonna pick off that scout, which is nice, and the ranger is probably gonna be under threat from this flak. Just barely misses light tanks. He turns back that flak like that. Oh, the ranger does go down, so that's nice. But Anjew can totally take this engagement right now. Rockets are already getting poked out too. There's only 3 of them, 1 in the very back. 1 of them already goes down. Yeah, Anjew should absolutely press this. He's actually turning away. He needs to keep pressing this all as much as he can. If he can whittle out the rest of those 2 rockets, then this army is heavily neutered. Kav does have his expansion MC out and a heavy tank out, so these light tanks are going to start folding very quickly as soon as more heavy tanks get out. Same time, Anjew is just max raxing and 1 MCV again, so same thing as last time. A little bit of Gouda, but that's alright. He's actually going to come down here to this bottom right and catch this harvester unprotected. Once again, there's rockets are heavily trailing behind from Anjew, and I just don't think he has the DPS deal. The Kav's going to be able to pull this harvester away, and he's extremely on top of it too. As soon as he saw that, he gets pulled him back. Anjew's going to go ahead and kill the power plants, maybe, but there is a flame tower in his face, and once again, only 1 rocket, and it's barely going to get out. Second rocket is going down, and Kav is going to push that attack back, but at the same time, Anjew's coming back over here. But once again, very light on the rockets. The rockets are very slow and far in the back. And Kav's just going to keep pressing on this, which he absolutely should, and just whittle it down, and then, yeah, those light tanks are going to get out of there, but all his infantry's forfeit, and that's unfortunate for him, because he actually needs that army value. Army values are pretty much the same. A lot of these actually getting away, just because pathing is pretty terrible. As soon as that flak gets to the front, though, or these turn to the left like that, he's going to lose a lot more of it. Now he's going to go ahead. Ooh, Flame Tower does get a nice burst on the rockets. Only 1 left now. And once again, Anjew is pushed back from a heavy tank and just a few Flame Towers. So that kind of shows the effectiveness of Flame Towers and heavy tanks and how ineffective light tanks can be, especially when you have low rocket density. But, I mean, all these light tanks could get some insane crushes once they get into high numbers like this. 10 light tanks, yeah, that's more than enough to crush a huge army if you get some, like, a good angle on them. This is probably a good angle right here, we'll have to see. First crush, not so bad, and then that other one's come in. All of them but 1 rocket gone, and these light tanks get out of dodge. Heavy tank going down, but Kav has his secondary armory finally come across. And once again, a little pressure up here, but the rifles in the rocket gets pulled away. I think had that rocket stayed with that, might have probably got a harvester, but yep, once again, Kav's gonna death ball, and Anjew's gonna face that thing where if he can deflect the death ball, he'll be alright, but if he loses his army to the death ball, then it's gonna be GG. And I don't know, he's got a lot of heavily wounded light tanks. They don't take that much anyways, and there is 3 heavy tanks plus a bunch of rockets there, so it's gonna be very, very hit or miss. This flak gonna get popped over here on the left side, but everything right here, it's all gonna be about this middle battle right here. Anjew's still trying to exert some pressure on the back door, which could, you know, defeat a death ball if Kav's just not paying attention, but Kav's also pretty smart. He's got pretty well defended. I mean, this harvester might get poked, but there is 2 rockets and a heavy tank there, and 2 light tanks instantly gone. That is 1400 down the drain for maybe 5 shots onto a harvester. Anjew's gonna come here down in the middle, but Kav is totally aware of it. These Ruffle Scouts paying their dividends. And Anjew's once again gonna get caught with his tanks on the wrong side. Kav's tanks are in a pretty good position. In fact, he's got a great concave here. Anjew's gonna get forced back, and he's going around a cliff too, which is unfortunate. He's gonna lose a lot of his infantry just to the pathing there. everything that he whittles away is just increasing that lead, 20,000 to 13,000 right now. I guess some more stuff is dying up here. These two heavy tanks and rockets actually paying dividends again. Another light tank down. Fortunately, that heavy tank's gonna get away and repaired, so now Kav is deathballing and taking it to the fight to Anjew. I think this is gonna be decided right here. This is all of Anjew's eco. He's moving his Vinci out at the same time too, which is unfortunate. Could probably use some defenses in just a second here. But now they're a minimum of 16 seconds away. Heavy tank reveals the attack, and Anjew's gonna go, and he's got a really good concave, and Kav kind of doesn't. He's pulling the harvesters too, so this is gonna be very hit or miss. No light tank crushes yet. Still a few. Oh, there we go. The harvester getting great crushes. 10 stack instantly gone, and the secondary light tanks are coming in, but I don't know. Kav's still pretty much dead even in army. That was a decent cleanup, but he did lose like what, 4 harvesters? 4 harvesters. That's gonna hurt his eco. He's still got some cash in the bank with 2 harvesters, but he's gonna be very much in trouble right now. The heavy tank numbers are still rather healthy. That one getting repaired. 5 heavy tanks versus 3 light tanks is not that great. A harvester down here, I don't know what happened. Maybe he got pulled up here, but Anjew is on 3 harvesters, 4 harvesters. It just builds a 5th one. And where does he really attack into Kav right now? This mine's dead, so that's not super great. If he dives really back here, then he's trapped. He attacks here, that's where the army is, and Kav has a lot of defenses over here anyways, so this is kind of what I was saying with this map. It's very easy to protect your base, and there's not a whole lot of attack, so this type of play from Anjew probably actually not the best for this map. Some base pushing is probably a little bit more effective. And Kav with the 6th sense just absolutely figuring out where Anjew was on this attack. Anjew's got a lot of infantry here, but so does Kav, and he just doesn't have the armor presence where Kav does, so. But it looks like Kav would rather take this fight in front of his base if he can, which is always smart. I use that extra inherent vision provided, so. Looks like Kav's gonna, oh, I like this from Anjew. He's using these rifles just to kind of scout and screen ahead of his army, just to see where Kav's going. Unfortunately, he's gonna find out that Kav has not moved, and they're just staring each other through the fog. But once again, Anjew needs to get these other light tanks into the play. He's only got the 3 up here. 2 of them are in that yellow health, which is not great at all. Army values are just slightly in favor of Kav, and I think that's just because the heavy tanks are providing more bang for their buck. 6, 7 heavy tanks and a bunch of defenses here. I don't think this is going to go great for Anjew if he does attack, and he's probably going to. The Ranger right now would actually be really great. I like these rifle scouts, but a Ranger giving that extra vision. Looks like Kav's had enough. He thinks he has enough to take this. And unfortunately, he definitely does. 3 light tanks are not going to be able to deal with this. Even with these heavy tanks being on the left side and the bulk of the army on the right. It's just, all of Anjew's armor goes down. All of his infantry is routed, and there's GGG. So, Kav not screwing around that game. Anjew had his moments, but again, there was nothing to really find. He couldn't move around. His best chance was right here, and Kav instantly pulled that harvester away and saved him. So it's going to be very hard for Kav, or very hard for Anjew to get into that 4th place, assuming Fazar forfeits. But Kav looking very strong for 1st place. I might have to face him. We'll have to see how his and Happy's games go, which I have scheduled for some time later, so you'll be seeing those too. But until then, I'll see y'all next time.